This is Take a Cue, episode 21.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Welcome to Take a Cue. I'm Erik Donough, 8th grade band and jazz band director.
And I'm Jen Wise, 4th and 5th grade instrumental music teacher.
We're two veteran educators with over 35 years of experience teaching music in New Jersey public schools between the two of us, and we're excited to bring teaching experiences and insights to you.
Yes, we are. Whether you're just starting out in your teaching career or you've been teaching longer than we have, this show will help you grow with new ideas and perspectives about music education and teaching.
We hope you'll be just as inspired as we are every time you listen. Before we begin, if you enjoy our podcast, please help us out by doing a few super easy things.
First, subscribe on your favorite podcast app.
Then make sure you rate the podcast and leave a review.
It helps people find our show who haven't yet, and we really appreciate it.
If you find that you get a lot out of our episodes, we'd be grateful if you considered becoming a monthly supporter to help us grow the podcast.
You can sign up to make a secure monthly payment using the link in our show notes or on our Anchor site, anchor.fm/takeaq. That's all one word.
Also, if you have questions or comments about anything you hear on the episode, come and interact with us on social media. We're Take a Cue Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Hi, Erik.
Hey, Jen.
Hey, happy Freestyle Friday.
Is it Friday? I feel like it's... No, it's not actually Friday. It's Wednesday for us.
It's Wednesday, but we can dream.
Yeah, wishful thinking indeed.
Yeah.
It's amazing that I'm actually sitting here talking to you and upright at the moment and not sleeping on my couch.
One of those weeks.
Yes. The secret is coffee. Lots of coffee.
Lots of coffee. Can I show you my mug?
Of course.
Given enough coffee, I could rule the world.
So the answer is you just haven't gotten enough coffee yet.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm working on it. My caffeine reservoir is, we're filling it up. So
as my coworker Ken says, I only drink 1 cup a day. It just never is empty.
I like that. I like that a lot. That's pretty good.
Sense, right?
Yeah. Oh, nice.
But yeah, just a lot of stuff going on right now. Just burning the candle at both ends and trying to keep things afloat. But we'll get into that. It's all mostly good stuff.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Well,
how about you?
I'm not crazy busy. I've been home on medical leave since the middle of last week. So
that's right. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling okay. I had surgery on my eye to correct a corneal abrasion. So,
and did you get this from while teaching? I forget.
I did. Yeah. So this is like a whole workman's comp thing. And yeah, it happened at school. Like, those Wanger music stand carts?
Yeah.
Yeah. I bent over and clipped my eye on it. And, and then took a good chunk out of my eye, and it healed poorly, and now they had to correct it with surgery. So I have like a contact in one eye, and we're doing drops and hydrating it and this and that. And so I've been out of school a week minus 1 day. I go back tomorrow. Okay. It's good. Great. Like my colleagues graciously covered my, before school rehearsals, because I had images of just kids standing out in the rain and tearing up. Where's Mrs. Wise?
Before it's right
school.
Before concert season.
I know.
So you can't just cancel the rehearsal. Well, Jen, that's got to be really nerve wracking. Trying to get everything taken care of, and you can't be there, and you got to heal and all that. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's been weird. The week before I left was pretty stressful because, setting up, they're not real sub plans. It's just rehearsal suggestions for the people that were taking over. Right. So sure. Cause I wasn't, I wasn't going to be rehearse this and then do this. And then, but it's hard to, not say, hey, this is what we did in our last rehearsal. So you might want to try this with them because they're ready for this, so, right. So it wasn't exactly a sub plan, but it takes some time to set that up and, actually make sure your seating chart is really correct on paper. And, when you just do that that stuff yourself every week. It doesn't, it takes a minute to sit down and put it all on paper. So,
and there's so much, even more so than most classes, I think, other subjects. So it's just the issue of, okay, I'm going to, in real time, listen to what my group is doing, and I'm going to adjust what I'm teaching them based on the feedback that I'm getting immediately.
Right.
It's constant change,
right.
No question. So you can only be so detailed in your plans. Yeah. I'm sure your colleagues were awesome, though.
Oh, they're so wonderful. And I got great reports, from them and yeah. So no, it was really good. And, we mentioned in our last episode that we only have like a few rehearsals left until our performances, and six for you. That's cool. Okay. I'm looking at 4 or 5 half-hour rehearsals. And in between is state testing, where we shut down our morning rehearsals, and I can only, I'm a noisy neighbor, so I can only have my lessons when there's no testing going on. So, that's when I get back, it's like, that's where we're at. So, that's been a thing too. So
we're kind of dealing with it too, but maybe not quite as, as crazy as you guys are. But, our whole school is testing because it's only 2 grades, 7th and 8th. So the whole school tests at the same time. So there's not an issue of like, oh, well, there's lessons that are scheduled while testing is happening. That doesn't happen. Yeah. The nice thing is that we have minimal classes that we're missing, but it is 2 weeks of testing, followed by the concert the next day in our building.
Oh, no.
The chorus and orchestra concert is, right now we're recording this on Wednesday, and Thursday is our orchestra concert before testing.
Okay.
So this will come out in a week or two, but right now we're recording this on the 3rd. Orchestra and chorus concert is the 4th.
Yep.
And and then I've got testing afterwards, but we're at the end of testing. So that'll be fun.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Jen, if anybody can do it, you and I can do this.
We're going to make this happen.
We could totally do it.
We're going to keep up our momentum, and we're going to do great. How are we going to do it? Coffee. That's right. And, I'm strategically planning what groups to double up, and whether that actually works out with the classroom teachers, we'll see when we get there. So, I did choose to do that rather than rehearsing and trying to keep like my flutes separate from my oboes and my clarinets separate from my trumpets. Like I have the option of doing my lessons in the parking lot, like far away from the building, while the grades that, my students are 4th and 5th, while the 2nd and 3rd graders are testing. I could be a little further from the building in the parking lot and have small groups. I think it's better to just double them up and see them in like a better space with a smartboard and a
by the time you get them out to the parking lot, all the equipment out there, they're like, woo, we're outside.
And it happens to be 50 degrees at the end of this week in the morning, and I'm like, you know what, I think we're gonna just double up our groups and cut our losses. And when you get closer to the concert, it's a lot easier to do that because everybody's working on the same rep. Everybody, the woodwinds all kind of sort of have the same lesson plan at this point. So that's my plan. We'll see if it works, but that's next week for me.
Yeah. So, you asked how are we gonna make it work, and I'll tell you the answer for me really is I am a very I forget what the word was. I heard it on a radio broadcast this week, but it was something about like it wasn't toxic positivity, but it was like a positivity bias. And there are people who are positive biased. I'm one of those people.
Okay.
And so when I'm planning my spring concert, oftentimes it'll be like, wow, their winter concert was so amazing. I can't wait to really push this group. They're just going to kill it.
Yeah.
And then we end up scrambling and getting really nervous right around concert time because I always forget that there's testing and there's weeks off and there's all this stuff. And I'm like, wow, we're going to have so much time to do this. And then we don't. So this year I was good.
Okay.
I programmed reasonably leveled pieces.
Okay.
Not too many of them.
Okay.
So frankly, I feel like my band could do a concert right now if they needed to.
That's awesome.
They could still polish a bit more, but like it could be a performance now. And I feel like that's making me feel a little less crazy when it comes to the group. And that's a good thing because there's a lot on my plate right now. And I just need to not have one more stressful thing adding to it.
I mean, for me, I feel like since I have first year players and second year players in the same ensemble on this concert, some of the rep is going to be less accessible to the first year players. And that's just how it is.
It'll
it's
give them
just
something to rise up to.
Exactly. It's going to be that. So and what I do is I talk to them about how we're going to pace the spring, right? So we start our new music, we get really excited about it. And then early in March, I start to tell them like, okay, guys, we've got 3 or 4 weeks until spring break. And in that time, here's what we're going to do. We're going to perfect the first 20 measures of our pieces. We're going to get that really good. And then between spring break and testing, which is like the second week of, so spring break, first week of April, testing, second week of May, we're going to perfect the middle and end of all these pieces with the help of smart music. I'm going to assign 16 measures at a time. And that's what we're doing for those 5 or 6 weeks. And then after testing, guess what? You have a rehearsal and a half and you put on a concert. So we better be ready by then, and they look at me like, testing's like May 8th. Yeah, it is. And you know what? After that, I see you once, maybe twice, and we have to put on our performance. So I'm really clear with them that their music needs to be learned by next week. And I just missed a whole week with them right before that deadline. So I'm a little anxious, but I'm hoping that like we were clear enough with each other and our expectations were clear and they have the resources and the tools and they're going to access them or they're going to be cramming like Jen, some students do,
I know how you work with your kids and I know how it's going to go because you're awesome and you're preparing the kids and you're doing everything you should be doing and they're going to be great.
Yeah. I still panic though, because I know how many times my teachers have told me about deadlines in the past and whether it's in music or not. And I've just been like, yeah, okay, that's fine. I got this. And then I end up pulling an all-nighter. I just, we'll see. We'll see how the next couple of weeks go. So yeah, your concerts are the day after testing and mine, the day after a long weekend, Memorial Day weekend. So we'll see where we land. But yeah.
So as far as music goes, you already did Yes We Can. That was for the winter. I'm trying to remember what you programmed for the spring. Remind me, and like, how is it going? How have you gotten your like answers from your colleagues? Like, hey, your kids are really good at this, and boy, are they going to need you to work this when you get back.
Yeah. So after we talked a little bit, a month or two ago, we were talking about how I was anxious about having too much music on the program and this and that, and I actually had some like cheerleader friend colleagues come out and say like, no, your kids can do it. Just give them all that music. Keep them going. They're going to love it. They're going to love all that rep. So we did. And then, we stuck with it.
Right through the eye.
Yeah, exactly. So, yep. And that was exactly like a week before all this, blew up. So, and I said that to my principal, who I've mentioned several times on here. He's a former band director. And I said, if I was going to cut a piece, it would have been this week. I would have had to do it before, because if I cut a piece when I get back, all the other pieces are still going to be mediocre. We're just playing one less on the concert, So it would have been now that I had to cut it. I was like, so we're going full steam ahead. And he's like, wow. You go, So
you didn't cut it. You've got it all.
I've got it all. The band program is, we're going to start with Stone Harbor March. It's a march that my husband Tom wrote. Yep.
Right.
We're going to do Aura Lee from page 13 in Essential Elements 2000. That's probably just going to be the fourth graders playing that one. I try to give them like their own piece. I think they're going to be able to do it. We're going to do an arrangement of William Tell Overture from the Bellwin Beginning Band Kit, where some of my kids are really flying with that. And they're like, can we talk double tonguing? And I'm like, you're 10. Like, so I think that's really cute.
Let's just start tonguing.
It's like, let's just make sure we got some air going on, guys.
Yeah.
But like really, it's really fun how some of them have, like, no pun intended, have really run with it. So, we're going to do Desert Caravan for the fifth graders, for the second year players by Pat Burns. And our finishing piece is an arrangement of Star Wars. Nice. So
right, you mentioned Star Wars. I had forgotten about the Pat Burns piece, which is cool, by the way, for our listeners. He's a local composer, which is pretty neat.
Yeah, check out his stuff. He has a lot of grade 1, grade 0.5 with a little extra stuff going on. So this is like a grade 1/2 with some superlative percussion. Nice. So it's a cool piece, and they're into it. They like it, and it's on Smart Music. So awesome. So that's cool. We'll have to tag Mr. Burns in this post. So Smithers. Right. Yeah. So my kids do that. I'll go, oh guys, could you take a closer look at what Mr. Burns is asking from us here? And one of my clarinet players goes, excellent. And I'm like, come on,
they
guys.
Still know The Simpsons.
They do. I don't
feel so old right now.
I know. It's kind of comforting once in a while, but so it's a lot of music. The orchestra is doing an arrangement of the theme from New World Symphony. We're also doing a piece called Impulse by Brian Balmages.
Nice.
And let's see what else. I added one called Knick-Knack Variations, and it's like variations on knick-knack paddywhack, give your dog a bone, and it's pretty cute. It has some clapping and stomping, and it's really fun. And then the advanced orchestra is doing it's called Rhythm and Blues, and it's by Sungi Newbold, and it's got some percussive elements also, so I'm going to add some percussionists to that and a pianist. And our chamber orchestra is doing like the Masterpiece Theater theme. And we're going to start our part of the concert with it. So no spoilers, but it's going to be cute. So that's going to start the whole program. So it's a lot of music, but it's good stuff.
But it sounds great. I bet the kids are going to be awesome.
Oh, they're into it. They're really excited about it. So that's what matters, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the last time we talked, do you feel like the year is winding down yet, or does that not happen until after the spring concert?
School ends on June 22nd, I believe, right?
It's inhumane, but that's the truth. Just kidding.
And on June 23rd is when I feel like the year has worn down.
Okay, that's fair.
I mean, it was funny. We were making our show notes, and I'm looking through and I'm going, and I wrote, Erik is feeling a bit overwhelmed. Life is a balancing act. And then I kind of listed all the ongoing projects, and it just kept getting longer and longer.
Yeah.
So I'll do the short version right here because it's just kind of like crazy. There's a concert coming up. Okay. I'm playing a show next week at Passaic Valley Regional High School. They're doing Mean Girls, and that is a crazy woodwind book.
I am not familiar with that. Okay.
It's brand new. It's pick, flute, clarinet, soprano sax, alto sax, and it's like virtuosic on every instrument. Even the piccolo stuff is like ridiculous. Our all-state piccolo players at the high school, our flute players at the high school are like, whoa.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So at least I felt like, all right, if they're going whoa, then it's okay. Then I'm going whoa.
Yeah, sure.
So we've got Dorney coming up in June. I'm decided that there wasn't enough to do right now, so I'm giving a personal recital on June 10th.
Oh my gosh,
on saxophone. So there's
That's
practicing for that every day, and then figuring out rehearsals with my accompanist and the other performers. A friend of mine emailed me this, a few months ago and was like, hey, we're going to do, my band is recording this really cool album. Can you put together horn parts and record them for us? And I'm like, yeah, sure. Of course. No problem. And he just sent me like 4 tunes this week.
Oh gosh. That takes a lot longer than you think, like to just dub yourself over somebody else. Oh, that's a lot.
Fun. It's fun. The problem is I just love these things. Like I don't say yes because I feel obligated to. I say yes because I really enjoy doing all this stuff.
Sure.
Much to everybody, much to my own sanity. But that's only half the list. There's also marching band arranging. So Morristown's marching band is, I write for them every year, and we've gotten 1 out of the 4 pieces arranged at this point. So got to do some arranging for them at some point.
Okay. It's barely May, so that's a good start.
Yeah, but they don't. They rehearse during the summer, so it's good to have the music pretty much done.
They want it. Yeah,
or at least the rough draft done by summer.
Okay.
Promotion band. We've got 8th graders from each jazz band that are going to be performing on the last day of school. That's why I said the 23rd is when I feel like it's winding down. We're doing marching band recruiting right now, which I don't do a whole lot with, but it does take time out of rehearsals for Mike and Jim to come down and, rah, rah, marching band, come on, sign up. I don't mind it. I like coming down and seeing the kids, but also Maggie's doing a recital with her oboe teacher. Her oboe teacher's doing a studio recital coming up. So that's exciting. She gets to play with Jack Bender on piano. I think you know Jack, right? So he's going to be playing piano for the whole studio.
Cool.
Maggie also just did a drama production that she was involved with here in Morristown. So she just did that with some like a children's theater thing that she decided she wanted to do, which was really fun. And then Kate's got a dance recital coming up. We've got church choir rehearsing every week and services and lots of fun stuff. Yeah. Holy moly.
Oh my goodness. That's a lot. Wow. So
if our listeners want to know how to juggle life and work and get everything in, don't ask me because I don't feel like I'm doing a very good job of it right now.
You're doing great. You made it to our recording tonight. Like that.
Only half an hour late.
Listen, we're like you said, we're burning the candle on both ends. It's just, that's fine. So,
oh my goodness. Wow.
Yeah. There's a lot going on. So
it's kind of crazy.
Listen, we said we're going to sprint to the finish and that's where we're at. Right.
Yeah.
So,
but the good news is, I mean, I try to focus on the positive. I told you I'm a fairly positively biased person. So even though there's so much going on, I try to look at the positive and I, kind of keeps me, going and keeps me grounded. My brass is killing it right now. We have our brass small ensemble class, in marking period 4. So I see them every day and they're really doing a great job. Holy moly. I'm so lucky to have this brass because they don't have them every year.
Right.
This is like one of those years where you're like, wow,
oh, it's coming.
Can I keep them?
Yeah, it's coming though. Like you have them all. They are coming to you.
That's awesome. It's a great group, great attitude,
good,
solid, aggressive players. Sometimes too aggressive, and I have to be like, guys, it says piano, and I hear raspiness. That's not good.
Listen, the hand is a compliment.
I know it's a brass thing. I get it. As a sax player, we just always play it as quietly as possible.
I know. Yeah. PC, but not heard.
Yeah. And, the Livingston High School numbers are looking good for next year. The 8th graders have made their class choices for next year. It looks like we've got 47 out of 53 signed up for band next year.
That's a great number.
Which is awesome. And I think we've got a couple more who might be changing to band next year. Cause once we find the list, I say, Mike, give me the kids who didn't sign up next year. And I'm going to go talk to a few of them.
Of course.
There may be a few where I'm like, you know what, that might be the right decision. But there are always a couple where I'm surprised. And so I'll go talk to them and try to, this is, for our listeners, if you want to get good recruiting numbers, you got to do the legwork, find out who signed up, who didn't. And then go hunt down those kids who didn't sign up and find out what's up.
Yeah.
Try to get them to change.
No, that's really good. And Jen, our 6th grade band director, always asks for, feedback and who should I, push a little harder? Who should I seek out in September? Who should I try and, get in that didn't sign up? So, it's really great that you're doing that. Yeah.
It's important to have that open communication between levels. Yeah. So one thing that is getting me through all of this is the fact that we have so many extra boxes of Girl Scout cookies in the basement. We're the cookie house in our troop. It means all the cookies come through here. And so we don't steal the cookies, but the truth is if we don't sell them, then we end up paying for them. And there's a few boxes left in the basement that I don't think are going to be sold. So,
no.
What about you? Now, I know, Jen, you bought graciously bought some Girl Scout cookies from Magster.
I am down to one box.
Ooh.
And it's embarrassing. The time that you gave them to me. I'm down to one box of Thin Mints. Oh, and one sleeve of trefoils. Is that how you say it? Is that
I'm really impressed that they've lasted this long, frankly.
Really? Listen, I usually throw my Thin Mints in the freezer and forget about them for for like a while, right? Because they're delicious in the summertime. Like grab one out of the freezer, is so good. And I try and forget about them. I didn't have the willpower, so I might be hitting you up for some more if you have some to spare, because
we've got a couple.
Yeah, just a few.
Yeah, we'll talk later.
Okay. Like I said, down to my last box. So I know there are a few things that can get you through concert season, like Girl Scout cookies. So I don't know. June and July, are gonna be bonkers. Like I am starting to daydream a little bit about summer. I don't know. I'm not.
You're already talking about July. I mean, I'm impressed that June is a thing, but I'm not thinking past June yet. Well, what's going on?
Okay. Well, so y'all know I bartend on the side, extra cash, gas is expensive, the whole thing. I'm doing Thursdays in June and July at Pompton Craft House. So that'll be kind of fun. Thursday nights. I'm really excited because last summer I was like Wednesdays are pretty quiet out in the world. So I'm hoping, Thursdays will be a little more interesting, and I think that could be good. So I'm sticking with that.
All of our listeners in Northern New Jersey just need to go there every Thursday night. And I wish we could have like a take a cue after dark or something. Ooh. and just set up a few mics around the bar and have you all on. That would be really fun. So that could get very dicey very
quickly. We'd have to put a parental advisory warning on it, I think. It could happen, So, but anyway, that's the plan for June and July, Thursday nights. I'm doing that, and I'm excited. It's something outside of the norm. Something it stretches me a little bit. So yeah,
that's good. We all need that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, that's about it from me. I don't know. I've gone down my run through. I can barely string together a sentence here.
You're doing great. I think we're good. I mean, I
know you're excited to get back to your kids after being away. I hope you have great rehearsals between now and the concert.
Thank you. Yeah, and good, and good healing, because we're not quite there yet. But I gotta get back. It's like it's hard to stay away any longer than I have. So,
I wish you all the best, Jen.
Well, thanks. And for our listeners out there, please chime in. Cheer us on. We need you right now.
Yeah. If you can string together a sentence better than I can, let's hear what you got.
Yeah. And definitely tune in for June. We have some good things to come before we take a little break for the summer and everything. So
don't forget to go to your favorite podcast app too and give us a good 5-star rating and review. It helps others find the podcast who may not have found it yet.
Yeah. And if you really like to support us, check out our Anchor site and the links in the show notes. You can find a spot to make a monthly donation, and we'll put it right back into what we do.
Mm-hmm. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and tell other people about us. If you liked our episode, especially today, or even if you didn't like today, but you like some of the other ones, you can pass them on. Hey, everybody has different tastes. Yeah. So there you go.
That's it.
Let other people know about us, please.
Okay. Well, Eric, good luck on your spring concert coming up. And
thanks, Jen, same to you.
Thanks.
I hope it's great getting back in front of those kids again.
Yeah. We have good things to come in the next few weeks, and we'll make sure to tell everybody about it when we're done.
Indeed. Okay. All right, everybody, get out there and make good music. We'll see you next time.